Okay, so this is Ginger Cook, and what we're going to do is we did part one of these Van Gogh Sunflowers, and I got clean brushes, I went and got clean water. I'm going to mist my paint, probably should have put out some new paint, but you got to watch part one first anyway. So I'm just going to continue on and work on, painting in the sunflower. Now, this is ultramarine blue and cad yellow medium, and it's yellow oxide, and that's sort of a green color. Do you see that? Sort of it's like a little bit of a green color, not too much, but slightly. And I'm adding some colors around the side of this back sunflower, and just put a few dots in here like that. And there we go. I'm sort of finishing up some of the ones on this, and got a little bit of a we sort of scraped this line out like that, but I'm going to still put some white and just make this, if you're scraping a line or you have a dark line, you can get a very tiny dark line by painting it dark first and then painting another color over it. That's sort of a trick. Yes, you can use a tiny brush and, do a little line or something like that, but if you can paint over it, that's even so much the better. And here's our light color here, and I want to come over the top of this. And this would have to be lighter here where the lights were highlighting it. And remember, acrylics dry darker. Did I mention that? Yeah, they do. So acrylics dry darker. So here's my yellow oxide and white. And I'm saying that this is lighter, coming up over here like this, and then like there. There we go. All right, that's a little bit lighter there. Now I need to still work on this one. Okay, so let's just work on this one next. All right, so I want a little bit of a green color. Got a little phthalo blue, and phthalo blue and yellow oxide. And I'm just going to come here on the outside of this one and paint in some leaves like that. Let's say that I've got these green leaves coming up here like this. They're coming out from the edge of the canvas. Oh my God, I thought, what do you mean they're green? Well, they're not really green. They're actually sort of a light color, but I've just started with the green. Now I'm into the yellow oxide color over the top of that, just leaving a little of that green in the center. So coming up this way too. Now it's important that these go to a point. These have to go to a point. These have to get very sharp, like claws. So I'm doing these outside layers first. Okay, something like that. We're starting there. And let's see, let's start somewhere else. I need some burnt sienna, which I put somewhere clever. I always paint the back of my paint tubes with the colors, so if they're upside down, I can find them. So here's a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm going to put out some more yellow oxide because everything's sort of dried up. We've been at this for over an hour. And people always say, how long does it take you to paint something? It depends on how long I'm willing to sit there. So, this isn't a race. If you don't paint it as fast as me, it just doesn't matter. Who's going to know? It'll be okay. So, all right. So these are these little petals from this first sunflower, and I've got that. And then let's see, did I tell you I put some, I'm going to get some flow. I want the flow brown. People say, what are you talking about? Well, Matisse makes acrylics either in the flow or the structure. And the flow, the nice thing about the flow, like for instance, if you take a burnt umber and a flow, it's almost like ink. You can outline with it. Though there are acrylic inks, but trust me, they work just fine, either with a pen or whatever. So if you're not getting the detail you want, that's fine too. So I've got a little bit of an outline on this, like this. I'll just do that. I'm going to say that I've got a little petal there. I know I've got a little petal there. And in here, you know, we've got the center in here, which we've sort of tapped in. And I'm going to tap in a few little more, just in the burnt umber here, a few little more random dots of center here in this flower. Up in here like this. I'm just following his pattern. Okay, in the center of this. And then I want to take my brush, and I want to say right here, I want to pull in a leaf like that. And I'm just going to, once you get the hang of these petals, they're pretty easy. And I'm going to do another one next to it. There was another one right next to it here. Another little, this is the flow brown. Just use the point of my brush. I'll put a little blue with it too. And right in here like this. I'm going to say there's another one. Yeah, and you know what else? You could use a pen too. I've got to tell you that. People always think that they have to use paint, but you don't. You could have used like a Sharpie. This is by Prismacolor, a Premier, and they come in different colors and they're waterproof. And you could have used one of these too. If you're having trouble with something, don't just sit there and struggle with the brush. That's dumb. Do what's easier for you. All right, so that is a sort of a, let's see, I said I was putting out some more Australian Sienna, which I really like. I'm going to put a bunch of that out. And if you put Australian Sienna or Azo Gold, which is Golden's Azo Gold, and you put yellow with it, it's very bright. Or white with it. It makes it very bright. So here's this little leaf, and when I fill it in like this, I'm not worried so much that I didn't get a perfect outline on the first go around with the brown, because you can just skinny it up with the next color. All right, and that same color, there's these little like seed-like dots. You see what I'm making here? Little dots right next to this. Now, there were a lot of these. Sometimes people get too carried away. I'm going to put some in these little squares. Little seed-like dots in these little squares where we scrape stuff out. Oh, do I need to zoom in so you can see? I can do that. Okay. All right. There's going to be a little bit of a glare because of the varnish that I used, but that's okay to do the glaze. But I can come in here with a little brush, put a little row of these little seed little guys things in here like this, and beside these tiny little lines. That's nice. Where else has he got those? Oh, look at that. He's got these everywhere. Oh, how nice is that? So he's got some over here. Just go inside. You know, you did all the scraping, so you just put these inside the little scrapey things. And just get in the habit, when you're doing something like this, get in the habit of wiping, you know, pulling your brush to a point, pull it to a point, and make sure you've got the right color here. And let's see, we want some in here like this. Let's see, we said that was this Australian Sienna. Here's some of these little seed things that are happening. That's what made this picture so pretty. Was all this little detail. And it kind of came over this way. And then way back over here, he had some. Putting these in. You know, do a few and stop and look and see how it goes. You know, you don't have to put everyone in. Down in here, do I want any back down in here? Oh, I don't know. Maybe. You know, if they're too much, I can glaze them back. If I get too many, I can just glaze them back. I'm just trying to think. I'm going around his stuff here. Now, there's this leaf. I'm just going to put it in like this. There's this, here's this, and then there's this marvelous leaf that comes this way, a little petal. Came that way. And then it sort of came off of here like this. Ooh, what happened there? Too much paint. Kind of curved out and then in. These are very graceful little petals. Okay. Scrape this back. And then there was one that came off of that here from there. So I always like to find reference points. So if that happened there, then what happened here? Then there was one that came out this way. So I might as well put that in, put a little more white with it so I can tell it's different than that one. Okay, let me just move that back down so you can see it. And then I'm still in these little Australian ones. This one was here. We had one that came around here like this. Like that. And here's this part. There was a little bit of almost green color to this one. This is actually fun. I'm having a really good time painting this. I don't know if you're enjoying it, but I really am. This is fun. It's got so many marvelous colors in here. And yes, there's an outline on this. And might I have been better off to have done it brown first, maybe. Then outline it, maybe. If I was, I know where the light paint is. The nice thing about acrylics is I can dry it and do it anyway. And this came to a point here. Let's outline this one. And then, there we go, like this. Let's come back in here with the white. Lighten this up right there at the end. Make sure these come to a point. I can't emphasize that enough. Then we've got another really big one. We'll just outline it in brown. We've got another big one coming like this. Take some, this is my flow. I'll say that there's another big one coming here like this. Now I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to turn the hairdryer on and show you what I'm talking about. So I did feel like outlining this last one. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just painting it in brown. See, this is such a trick. Just going to paint it in brown like that. I'm going to dry that really quick. I'm holding the hairdryer right over it so it dries. I mean, it has to dry or this is pointless. Then I'll rinse my brush. I'll rinse my brush and then come in here with this light color and then paint over it. Now if I go very close to the edge here, I've got a really good outline. Now see, it didn't quite dry there. And I'll say that there's a little line in the middle. All right, the same thing here. I'm going to come here with a little bit of light. Right on here, like that, lighten this one up, right over that green. And then the tip of this one gets light. So you're saying, well, you're jumping all, you know, I'm just going to do a few petals at a time. For me in acrylics, I know oil painters don't do it like that, but for me in acrylics, that is the absolute easiest way to do it. Just start back and just start doing a few at a time. So this is a huge, complicated pattern, And if I didn't do it like this, I'd get lost in the pattern. So my best bet to take a light misting of the paint and start one petal at a time, deciding where stuff goes. All right, so I'm going to say that I want this line a little thinner. There, now that would be darn tough to outline that thinner than that. Now I've got the same thing here. Let's just put these in one at a time. To me, that is so much easier. I'm going to take a little bit of, we haven't used any Cad Yellow medium yet, but I'm going to grab some, put some out. Cad Yellow medium. I haven't really bothered with that, but I am going to add some because I want a little orange color. So I'm going to take a little Cad Yellow medium and Cad Red medium, and I want a little orange color because I want under here, I want a little orange leaf here. And the same here on the tip of this. I want a little orange. And underneath here, maybe there's a little orange leaf that sort of snuck under this one. And as I do these, I can see that like right in here, there was like a little orange leaf that came. And I'll put a little bit of Australian sienna right there on top of that, right? Little orange leaf. And then it disappears into one that's curving around like this, saying that this leaf disappears because there's so many that are layered over it. And we've got one that's out here like this. It's out here like this. And if that one was there, then there's what happened to the one that came this way. There's one that came up like this. And let's see, I had one that came behind this like this. There's a little one back here. And let's take some blue and shorten this one up. Some blue paint. Darken this up right here. Okay. Now this is the, that's one of the tricks. If you get it out, you know how to make the background color. I kept making a big point of the background color because I said if remember how you made the background color, you would remember how to sit there when you had to start shading in around your flower. It wouldn't seem so odd. Okay. It would seem almost all right to do that. So, all right, so I've got a few little petals there. Since I had blue in my brush, I'm going to rinse it off. And let's see, what else could I put? I have a sort of a light brown petal, just burnt umber and white, really. It's coming this way. Ooh, look at that. Too much. When you rinse your brush, if you do not pinch it off and really squeeze it, water gets in the little metal part. It'll drip on your canvas. So here we go. Here's another little leaf that's coming this way. And it's just got a dark edge on one side. I'm going to dry that because I got water on the canvas. And it's not painting anymore. Okay. Better. So a little leaf right there. And it's got a little dark brown outline with a little lighter gold. There's one. I'm telling you, this is just petal by petal almost at this point. And then there, and then we said that there was one next to this here, there's a little leaf right here. I'm going to use a little bit of that orange color. We'll say that there's this little orange leaf right here. Then again, I have the choice. I can outline it with my brush. Now I have an advantage. I am doing this on a table and my arm is resting on the table. So my arm's resting here. So this is really, I've got huge support on the edge of this canvas. If you were trying to do this on an easel, it's going to be a little more challenging, and I understand that to get these. So we're going to say that we've got a leaf that's coming got another one that's coming here, that kind of over these two, you know, little one came this way in front of these two. And again, these have these sort of, there's almost this little outlining thing, and I almost feel like I've got to do it each time. If I don't, I will lose the pattern. But if I do it now, I won't lose it so much. Okay, so kind of overlapping leaves. I'm going to overlap a leaf this way. Petal this way. Okay. And I have something that's kind of coming around like this. And on the outside of this flower right here like this, I've got one. Pull it up to a point. They all go to a sharp point. Just try to remember that if you're just trying to figure out where to put these. They all go to a sharp point. And even though this is a little backwards, I'm going to put it in just so I can figure out where everything else is. This is coming around here like this. And up here like this. Okay, so far so good, right? And then if that happened there, then I need a little more orange color. Cad red medium. And I want to say that there's some sort of, let's put a little burnt sienna with that. Yellow and red and burnt sienna. Cad red medium, not naphtha crimson. Cad red medium, you want that color. Down here, and then there is some odd little petals that are coming under here like this. Coming from there. Maybe here. It came out this way. Switch it around, but I'm seeing where else can I put that color without losing my patterns. How's that? So I'm trying to figure out where else can I put this sort of orange color. Pull some flowers toward the center of this sunflower. Going, how long is this? I don't know. Just never painted this before, so I'm just guessing. Never painted this, but that's all right. All right, so we said something happened back here like that with a little brown. There's these. I want another one, right? Another sort of green one. Phthalo blue, white, little brown. I want another little green one right here coming around like this. Now I don't want it really that green, but I'm just sticking in there because I need to see the green. I want a little of that color. So I've got another little leaf right there. And put a little of that green color. Just shade this leaf here. You know, when you're looking at stuff, you say, where else could I put it? Sometimes a little color somewhere will help distinguish one thing from another. And he seemed to have more green up on this side of his stuff. then on the bottom right, the green tones seem to all be over here. Put a little beige over that green. Like that. Okay. Now, sometimes it's just some darker color. So let's take a little bit of ultramarine blue and yellow. Darken this edge right here next to this petal. Darken that. Okay, that was just a little ultramarine blue, and I'm gonna want that color and put that in the center here of this. That was ultramarine blue with the cad yellow medium. There's this little dark edge there. Same here. Let's put a little bit of that there. Okay. And back to doing some little light things. I'm going to take some phthalo blue and white. It's really got to be really light though. Like almost all white with a tiny bit of blue in it. And a little bit of dazzling purple. See if I can make this sort of pale blue color, kind of match that back up. Right. Okay. Let's see. We've got a lot of petals coming this way from this edge. They're coming this way. They're wrapping around the flower. All right. So switch it between, this is Australian Sienna. So these are wrapping around the flower like that. And then I want a kind of a blue one up here like this. One like this maybe. Start wrapping them around. People look at this and say, you know, I think this is like magic. It isn't magic. It's just like doing a puzzle. It is, you pick a color and put that on, figure out how you're mixing your colors. We haven't done anything too clever. It's either lighter than darker than something else we just did. You know, it's either going to be lighter or darker. Then you decide how you're going to paint it. We have got one coming this way in front of these two, crossing over. And everything is layered and overlapping. That's the way I would tell you. Everything is layered and overlapping. Just one thing is layered and overlapping. If you're not sure what is coming first, then outline a few things so you can kind of figure out where you are. Because it's really easy to get lost in a picture like this. You're just going to get lost in where he put all the petals. And he was looking at the sunflower. He might have gotten a little lost too. I have no idea. But in any event, we'll just keep things in here. I need more orange. Get this one coming off. Ooh, I'm making it all the way around. Yay. I feel like I'm getting somewhere. Kind of making my circle here. We want to do here, start some up this way. It's just this cad red medium and cad yellow medium, little orange. Pull some this way. A little green going there. Now, underneath these petals here, and rinse your brush if you have to. It's got to be kind of dark, so it's going to be ultramarine blue and burnt umber. And right on these ones here, it's got to be kind of dark. Under here. It's got to be dark under the flower. And we even have some, he even had on some, this is him, you know. He had some dark blue under here. Ultramarine blue here, some ultramarine blue. This is a dark shadow right under this flower, right off here toward the left-hand corner. And I want to put that in now. I want to put some of these dark areas in because then there's some light too. So this is like ultramarine blue. And I might add a little dazzling purple to it. And this is very dark under here. It's not brown, it's very dark blue under this part of the flower. And you see how it started to pop out? It started to pop out, right? I probably shouldn't try to do this as a lesson. It's a speed paint. I probably started as a speed painting picture. And then maybe just have it as a I don't know if I'm going to just trying to decide here. I just want to pull this like this. And I guess we'll come back with those. There, but even that's, what an improvement that is. Okay, so I've got to, if I'm going to put anything over that, I've got to dry it. So I'm going to dry it. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. Take a break. It's been 34 minutes. Let's take a break and pause this. Alright, so I dried this because I want to be able to put some lighter petals going this way, and I can't do it over that wet blue. So I'm going to start with sort of a burnt sienna color and a little bit of white maybe. And I want to come like this, say that there's some petals that are just going naturally this way, falling back like this under here. And a little Australian sienna, and say I had one going like this. And boy, it stopped way short of that. It stopped right here. Just put some blue back. Trust me, it stopped right here like this. Lovely little, the wonderful thing about using your computer, you know, to record the videos is that anytime someone sends you a message, it goes ping. And you know, most of the messages, I don't care. I don't need to get them for the most part. Okay, so I fixed that. And back into here like this. Some little odd little petals that are coming off of here like this. And then we have this one that's going to curve around like kind of this little light one. I'm going to do another little light one here. Okay. This has got a light edge on it. We did it in brown. Now I'm going to put some color with it. And this is going to have some light gold on it. Alright, so where else can some of this light go here? And here's some dark brownish green. Say that there's the bottom of this. A few little dots of light. Okay, bottom of that sunflower. Okay. Alright, we're still wandering around with these petals. We're knocking them out, though. I've got to tell you, I'm knocking them out. There were a lot more a little while ago. I definitely feel like I'm making progress. There was some nice big little petal right here. Let me just pull some orange on this one and on this one. Ooh, too much paint. Center of that, okay. All right, where else are our petals? Yeah, we have some more. I think I was in the orange last time I looked. Okay. And for sure, I want some tiny little ones going up like this. And down here, this is going to be, got to have some coming off of here too. Now, notice this curve that's going up. It's not a straight line. See how I'm making a little curve there? And then I'll pull a little smaller petal, just burnt umber and white, or raw umber. No, burnt umber and white. I'm going to pull another little petal going back this way. That's too white, but I'll fix it in a little bit. The same thing here. I've got some sort of little petal that's coming up this way. Starting out of here. They're all kind of bent and twisty. He hung on to these flowers for a long time. They were getting old, I promise you. It's just probably had them, you know. And also he could pick those. They could go right out there and pick them, which was neat. Right out and pick these flowers. So it's coming along. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm very happy with this. I think it's coming along. I'm feeling sunflowery, feeling like we're getting some sunflowers. And let's see. Put a little light with this one. What's pretty is the center, you see? The center of all this is so pretty. Yeah, we're going to start adding our lights. We're going to start turning the lights on. Too much. Let's see, I feel like there has to be something. I haven't quite got it good enough where these guys meet. This is coming around like this. This is bigger. And then something happened over here where these touch. There should be some green stuff going on over here too. Just a little bit of green on that edge. What am I doing on time here? Gosh. All right. I'm going to give myself another 15 minutes to finish this. I think 2 hours on this project is plenty. I'm over the project now. I don't know if you are. Just 2 hours is fine. It's a good project for 2 hours. It's going to take hours to upload. We'll see how we do. It'll take hours to upload this thing. Putting some greens back in case you're wondering what I'm doing over here. I don't know if I have to outline every single stupid one of these little things, but you know, I've got to do enough of them where it looks like his picture. Okay, now I'm going to just stop with all of this for a minute and come back to this side and put this in. Gonna work on this side a little bit. Put a little of the green back over here. And oh, look at that! I missed that completely. There's a little thing right here on the edge of this that went this way. Kind of white and brown, like almost white, like an off-white brown color. It went this way on this little stem. And this came out further. So did the stem. All right, time to make some green. Phthalo blue, burnt sienna, and now we gotta work on this handle. I'm going to call it a handle, but it's the stem of this flower. He's got some dark behind it, which makes it work. Okay. He's got some dark under here. I feel like I should paint faster now. Just been sort of fooling around. Like I need to paint faster. See, I know I want it dark under here. Little tiny brush strokes going out in this direction. Blue-green color. And, ooh, we got it really nice and dark blue back in here. And then there was an occasional, some of these lines that we scraped we're actually going to paint in. Yeah, we're going to do that too. Just some of them, not all of them. We're going to paint in some of them. Take a little burnt sienna. Paint in a few of those. Don't need too many, but you want to put in a few back, particularly if you lost any. I'm not saying wouldn't be impossible to lose a few, and I'll promise you, because if you've been using this glazing varnish, it will be much easier to put back because the canvas is very smooth where the glaze is. Okay, so there's that. And I had some orange, it's almost an orange color in here. Way back here. In here, let me just make that orange color. Cad red medium and yellow and cad yellow medium. And I need some nice orange back in here, these little seed things. Need to put those back. We lost some of those. I don't know, maybe you didn't lose yours. I lost my little seedy things. I don't know, maybe I'll stop this at an hour and do it in 3 parts. I don't want it to be not look lovely. It's got to look good. I want it to be better. If I don't finish this, it's alright. I've decided. Now it's on. I may not film it. I may just show you the finished piece. Just know that I keep going around. I'm going to work on the water. And, I mean, pretty much the way you paint it, I've kind of explained it. Now it's just a matter of adding some highlights. Coming back with some reds and adding highlights. And coming back over here and adding some highlights. And it's either going to be some lights or some dark somewhere. We're adding that. Okay. You know, a lot of people have ways that they paint things. And that's fine. For me, I've been doing acrylics. When they first came out with acrylics, I was probably the first people to buy it. That'll date me. But it really, or at least I guess they invented the acrylics in about 1958, and I probably started about in 1965 painting with acrylic. And back when I was painting it, you know, people were using them like watercolors. They didn't understand how to use them. And I was using them like oil paints. My mother was an oil painter. And I'm sorry to say we were not as good of friends as we could have been, but I wanted to paint. I just didn't want to do what she was doing. That was it. Acrylics were just perfect. Because I could still still do this kind of thing. And I thought, you know, I can do acrylics and I will like it just fine. And there goes that message thing again. Ooh, this is coming along. Now, we didn't do this with a lot of texture. We could have. Somebody says, well, what about texture? He had all this texture. Well, if you'd wanted to do this with texture, then you would have had to have gotten out the gel mediums. And something like this. Or maybe like a heavy, I would have used a heavy, I would have used a light gel gloss and added it to the paint. Could have had this thicker. I just, you know, we never, this would not have been a 2-hour, even a 2.5-hour project had I done that. So, but you could, if you want to take longer, just add some gel to it and just skin it over and keep painting. If you want this thicker, that's an easy enough thing to do. Starting to pull this all in here now. And this is the fun part. So I'm going to go back over here, kind of lighten some of this. I'm going to lighten this. I'm going to kind of come around and give my, using a thin brush, I'm going to go ahead and give my background another coat of paint. And I'm going to add a few more little petals, not too many. Not too many. I don't want you to think I'm going to just close this off and sneak around without you and not put anything in. For instance, I know I need a little petal right here. So there would be one there and maybe some little petal there. So I'm going to add a few little more. Not too many. So, I mean, it'll be okay. And when I'm done, maybe you can just kind of look and see about the changes. Because I think at this point, I think you get the general gist of how you'd paint this. And now I'm just going to take my time and just think about how I want to finish this off, because that's the trick. I mean, how do I want to finish this off? I will stop this video and I will keep filming it in case I decide to make this into a speed painting. How's that? But I don't think I'm going to show you. I think this is as much as I'm going to show for 2 hours, part 1 and 2 of this. And what I would say is this: if you're having fun and you happen to see this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to take weekly art lessons, and I've got just tons of really fun videos, all kinds of things for acrylics, go to Ginger Cook Live. It's really reasonable. But in any event, I hope that if you're painting, you found this entertaining. How's that? That's all. I hope if you found this entertaining and you liked it, you know, comments are nice. I had someone comment the other day that I spoke way too fast, and I'm working on that. And he didn't like my hairdryer, but now we can pause things. So, you know, I do listen. If you have some constructive criticism, spelling is one of my... It's not that I can't spell, it's just that my keyboard sticks when I'm typing in things. So sometimes you might notice an error. Feel free to tell me. I'll come back and correct it. I don't mind. I never, you know... wouldn't feel the least bit bad about doing that. I've got to put some up this way, like that. Got some more coming up like that. But that's all right. So we're going to stop it right here. And I hope this was fun. And thanks for watching. And have a fabulous day. This is Ginger. And Ginger Cook Live on YouTube. And we've got a lot of flower videos. And I'm trying to be going back to the masters and saying, how did they paint this? And maybe you want to know too. So thanks for watching.